Hey guys, welcome to today's Green Industry Podcast episode with Chris Lonergan. He works at Footbridge Media and he is a marketing expert. Today I'm going to pick his brain about AI. Alan Iverson. No, artificial intelligence, Chris. So it's been a while since we've had you on the program, and let's dive right into it, man. What is AI for the 50, 60-year-old who's just started getting into social media and now they're like, oh, there's a new thing you're telling me about, Paul. What in the world is this? Break it down
Well,
in a simplified way here.
absolutely. So when it comes to contractors, landscaping, and green space folks, there's really two major concerns when it comes to AI. Number one, AI is something that you can use to potentially grow your business in a way that doesn't require necessarily more people or more software or paying for more tech. So think of it as an assistant you can lean on when you use it right to find ways to grow your business, to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. It could be potentially great for that. The other concern with AI is how it's changing how people search. So everyone's heard of
Mm,
ChatGPT. There's other programs like Perplexity. Google has their own AI components built into their search now. So
wow.
there's a lot of folks worried about, is this going to change how people find my service? As a lawn and landscape guy, are people going to be going to ChatGPT to find out where they should hire their landscaper? Are they still going to go to Google? Will I still show up in Google because of how AI overviews and how search has changed? So AI is impacting a large chunk of businesses, both on the business side and on the marketing side of things. There's a lot to be aware of, and that's kind of the hard part. So I think it's really important for business owners now. Business owners always have to be kind of a Swiss Army knife. They've got to be able to do lots of different things. Now I think it's time to make sure you're paying attention to AI, how it works, and how it may potentially help your business or what things might potentially hurt your business related to AI.
Yeah, I personally so I was using Chat GPT for a year plus, and then I made the switch to Grok. Um, well, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I canceled my Chat GPT subscription. I was paying them $20 a month. I think I pay Grok $30 a month. But I'm finding myself going to Grok now instead of Google. So where I used to Google something, I'm just saying it to Grok now. Um, but what are your thoughts? Chat GPT, Grok, you mentioned Perplexity. I've never heard of that. Can you give us, I know you're more understanding of AI than me. Can you give us like some simplified basics of someone who wants to start using it?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as using it for the sake of building your business, I would say to start, you basically you pick one and you run with it to experiment with it. And there are free versions of all these things. I would definitely start with the free version, play around. There are lots of places where you can find prompts, things that you basically enter into your chatbot, and then it helps to provide you with an answer. Now, there's always concerns with all these AIs for, is it giving me the right answer? Is it giving me a good answer? ChatGPT, is very popular for kind of being a sycophant. It will always praise you until you're doing such a great job, even if you maybe need some course correction in your prompt. So that's to say that AI is not perfect, but it's a great place to play around. It's a good playground. So to get started, figure out what's the hard thing that you don't want to do at work today. Maybe you don't want to go out and take pictures today of the jobs that you do. Maybe you don't want to do phone calls today. Maybe you are having a hard time uh, preparing a blog post for a site. You need to update your content. Go to ChatGPT and just say, "Hey, I need help with this thing. This is me. I run this business, and this is my problem." And it likely will give you some sort of direction for an action step you can take. It may help you to build an outline for your blog post. It may help you to give you a script for your phone calls if you don't know what to say to people when you're doing quotes. There's lots of little things that you can do to experiment with, and experiment with all of them. Try Grok, try ChatGPT. There's Claude. There's tons of these different AI services out there, all with a free flavor of some sort.
Mhm.
So I feel like right now it's easy to try out those prompts. And again, even on footbridgemedia.com, we've got a bunch of a blog posts with sample prompts. You can't, you can Google and find on YouTube. You can ask ChatGPT, "Hey, I'm a lawn care business operator. I need to improve my business. Give me suggestions," and it will find something for you to do. And it might be something that you didn't even think about. Maybe it's everything you're already doing. If that's the case, that's great. But it's really good at basically being somebody you could talk to and bounce ideas off of
Mhm.
that has the skill set of basically all of search, all of known internet history, essentially, as a way to back up what it's talking about and the suggestions that it gives.
Okay, so explain this to me. Well, with ChatGPT or Grok or Claude or one of these things, it knows everything that's on the internet.
More or less, it's got a big chunk of data. So these programs are all called LLMs, large language models. So essentially, it has tons and tons and tons of references, tons and tons of information that's been plugged into these that give it context and understanding, basic understanding of pretty much anything. You can ask it any niche thing, it'll give you that idea, that information. With services like ChatGPT, if it doesn't even have good up to date information, it can do a web search and it can find information for you. It's essentially going to Google for you, synthesize a bunch of results, and return that back to you. It's like a little research assistant, kind of in that way. So it's got a really deep and wide language. Those large language models have a really deep and wide knowledge base. It's not perfect. Sometimes it does make stuff up. That's one of it's called AI hallucination. So
Okay.
it's still important to vet things and check things. That's why I say it's a fun playground. It's a fun tool, but it's not a straight up replacement for a true professional, a mentor, a marketing pro, a business pro. It's a good way to get more information, more ideas for you to do deeper research on later on.
Okay. And which one do you personally use?
I personally, right now, I use ChatGPT the most. Experimenting with Claude a little bit more for writing. That's kind of a lot of folks think that Claude is better for writing. One of the things that I've heard that I'm trying to experiment with myself is that you should try more, try multiple services. You'll find that maybe ChatGPT is really good for search, Claude's really good for writing, Perplexity might be good for a different kind of research. So you've got different options. I personally use ChatGPT the most right now.
Okay. What is your understanding of my switch to Grok? I just heard somebody on TikTok say, "Hey, I used to use ChatGPT and Grok 4 is better. Now I use Grok 4." And that was the only thing I based my decision on. So now I'm using Grok, but I didn't hear you mention that in your list there.
That's not one that I've played with yet. I've seen Grok around just basically as I'm scrolling on X or scrolling on Twitter, but I haven't played with that one much myself yet. Again, I think that it's important to experiment and try a whole variety of them. And that's one of my to do lists for sure.
Yeah, now these emails in ChatGPT are hilarious to me because I can tell when someone emails me through ChatGPT because it's like, "Dear Paul,
Right.
I hope you are well, I hope you are whatever." It's like the cheesy entrance, and then at the end, it's like warmest regards, and then I got an email from somebody, and they signed off warmest regards. It's like I never heard this guy in his life say warmest regards. I was like,
Right.
you use ChatGPT to write this email, and so I was like, at least like clean it up with your slang or your language. But Grok's a little bit better, I would say. But I haven't tried that Claude one yet. Is it more fluid or realistic or
So funny enough, Claude I think does a better job at exactly what you're talking about. It figures out tone correctly. It doesn't have a lot of AI writing falls into those kind of tropes where you can tell, you can look at it and say this was probably written by an AI. You could just tell by reading it. This doesn't really sound like a human here. And Claude is very good at not doing that. So Claude is probably better for writing those emails. But again, that's one of the reasons why really you shouldn't just copy and paste out of these AI services. That's the biggest downfall. It's not working. It's not meant to replace your brain. It's
right?
to help your brain. So yeah, you don't know how to write this email. You can even feed it your past emails. Hey, here's how I talk. Here's 10 emails I've sent to Paul before. Now I want to tell Paul this message. Write this message to Paul for me, and then go through and review it still. But yeah, just copy and pasting out of these AI services is never going to be, it's going to look weird. It's going to sound awful. That's not a business improvement by any means.
Right. Now I will use it. So I'll say like, here's what this person emailed me. Here's my rough draft reply. Can you write it even better? And then it will come back and then I have to clean up the nonsense of like, the opening line's always real cheesy, like something about being well. I don't know. It's just not something I would say. And then the warmest regards, I would never say that. Like at the
Most
end of our
sincerely.
podcast, I went to the warmest regards. You know what I mean? So but some of the stuff in the middle from Grok, it's really like they'll word it even better or like more efficient than I could have worded it. And I'm like, oh, that's really good. So I'll usually use some of the body of what they write, and then I'll clean it up with, if I'm writing an email to someone, I'll say, hey, Steve, thanks for getting back to me, just in my own words. And then at the end, I'll say, all the best was something I was saying before AI ever acknowledged or started or like, thanks so much. And I'll clean it up with my own words, but I will use it to influence some of my email, and I feel like it really helps me with that. But what other ways besides, we'll get to the lawn care business stuff in a minute, but you work for Footbridge Media, so you're not building a lawn business, but like what ways are you using it to enhance your life and your work life, and like what, walk us through a day of how you're using AI.
Sure. I think that kind of what you said there is kind of a great example. Is you give it a little bit of context for something that you're working on, and then you say, I need to flesh this out more. I need more ideas. Right now, for example, something I'm doing a lot of with Footbridge is that I'm talking with folks like you, and I'm trying to meet new folks, meet affiliates, meet different people in our community, in our industries, all around. Uh, and there's a lot of stuff to sift through. There's a lot of people out there. So I'll say, hey, I talk with Paul Jameson. I talk with Jason Creel. Find me other folks like this on the internet who talk about green industry space, or who find me publications that are about this. And maybe it'll find places where you've been mentioned, where Jason's been mentioned, and it gives me new ideas. It gives me insight into the industry that I'm maybe not be I, I'm not as deeply involved in that particular niche of green industry publication for magazines. I don't know a whole lot about that, but with ChatGPT, I can give it a little bit of information, give it some context, and then it returns to me things that are like that. And I could certainly Google search those things, but that would be an hour of Google searching. Or I can send that over to ChatGPT and it gets done for me in all of a couple minutes. I think using it kind of as a research assistant, as assistant when you're writing and building, uh, even for simple things like one of the things that we do with our clients right now is we're a big fan, especially for lawn and landscape folks. We always recommend giving us project posts, project content, making mini case studies for your website. And a lot of our contractors they don't want to be writers, which I get. You want to run your business. We tell folks, you know what? Give us a couple bullet points, put that into ChatGPT and say, "Hey, I want to share the story about this customer. We cut their grass, we did this, we did that, we did their pre-emergent weed control, we did all these things. Give me 100 words on this. Customer's name was Bob. He was happy. He has a dog named Phil." All these things that wasn't eloquent, but I can put it in the chat GPT. It can give me something back. And then, like you said, then you can go through and make sure it sounds like you, it sounds like your business. And now you've created some really good starting content for a project post for a case study on your website without having to be a writer yourself. It's that assistant. It's a writing assistant. It's a research assistant. That's mostly the kind of stuff I use it for too.
Super cool. That's very helpful. If you guys want to shout out on the program, we're currently live on Facebook and on YouTube. We just hit 81,000 followers on Facebook, Chris, which is super
Nice.
exciting.
That's awesome.
Hunting down that 100,000, that will be a big milestone for us on Facebook. And then YouTube, we just crossed 22,000 subscribers. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're live on both those platforms. If you would like a shout out, you can leave a comment and we can get you onto the program here. Again, we're chatting with Chris Lonergan. He's been on the podcast many of times. He works for a company called Footbridge Media. You help build websites for small businesses, lawn care businesses, landscaping businesses, pressure washing businesses. So you have a specialty in the trades, and then you do ongoing website optimization, just keeping things fresh. So why don't you share a little bit about somebody who's listening that has maybe a raggedy online presence? They have a good business. I mean, they can mow, edge, trim, and blow with the best of them, or do landscape installs with the best of them. But when I Google them, or in the future AI them, um, their website looks like a fifth grader made it, and it just makes you. There's a discrepancy between how good you are in real life and how you appear online. How can you guys help?
Yeah, really our job is kind of help with that disconnect. We know that most business owners don't get into the business to do their own marketing. They want to do it because they like helping people and they like their craft, they like their trade. So our job overall is to make sure that you are out there from a marketing standpoint, you've got good online visibility, that you look as good as your business truly operates. And to do that without making you do all the work. So it starts, like you said, with our services, it starts with the website. We do website design and content creation and build. That's all included in our core program price. A lot of other vendors have like we've got to pay, thousands of dollars for a website build. We don't do any of that. We have a flat rate fee. It includes the website design and build. It includes review management services, automated software to help with review management. It includes access to a marketing consultant. So you have a go-to contact here at Footbridge Media, not just a 1-800 number, but you've got someone's direct phone call, their direct phone number. You've got their email address, got a link to schedule future calls with them. They're your go-to marketing person, not just for your website, but really any online marketing or overall marketing questions that you may have. And again, our job is to try to take all the weight off your shoulders as much as possible. We make it as easy for you to run your business and have your marketing work in the background where we can. There are definitely moments where we need to work together to make sure we're firing on all cylinders, to make sure that we are maximizing things like your Google reviews, maximizing your website visibility. But we try really hard to make it so that you just run your business and we run your marketing as best we can without bothering you for every little thing.
Mhm.
So that you can look good, so that you can, when someone does Google you, when you get a referral and someone looks you up, they see good positive reviews on Google.
Right.
They see a website that looks sharp, that has pictures of you and your work. You know, there's so many other websites that we see for folks who are starting up, or even folks who've been around for a long time, who've never had a marketing presence. I can't. There have been multiple times where we worked with multi-generation businesses who don't have a good website, who don't have a logo, who don't have Google reviews. Somebody's been doing it for 20 years, and they don't have an online presence that matches that level of expertise, that level of business. And it makes it difficult, especially now when everything is just a Google search away. No matter what, even if you get a really warm referral, if your best friend says, "Hey, use Paul for these services," you're going to Google Paul first. You're not just going to blindly give somebody money. So now more than ever, it's super important for every business, even in the trades, even if all you do is mowing lawns, and you don't fancy yourself as a layout designer or a landscape designer. It doesn't matter. People are looking for pictures. They're looking for reviews. Doesn't matter what kind of business you have. You have to have an online presence that matches what people are expecting when they Google search it. Not just a Facebook page, but an honest business website that really shows off your expertise.
Yeah, that's really good. And it is a long story of how I got connected with you guys at Footbridge Media. Jason Creole, my great friend from Alabama, he connected me with you guys. I was griping to him out on the golf course that I got ripped off. I paid $10,000 for a website, and these guys were um, probably a little bit of unqualified and probably a little bit of dishonest combined. So I was thinking in my brain, well, if I spend 10,000, I'm gonna get this premium state of the art website or whatever. So I give him, I think it was half up front, or maybe it was third. I forget, but I give him some money and months go by, Chris. I'm talking months, and I got nothing. And then I'm like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And then they made me feel like it was my fault. Like, oh, well, and I was like, this is a horror story. And more months go. I mean, I'm talking this thing took them forever to build, and it was pathetic. It was an absolute joke. And so I mean, at that time, $10,000 is a lot of money. But where I was at in my life at that time, $10,000 might as well have seemed like $1,000,000, Chris. I mean, I invested so much of what I had to get this website because I knew the importance of having a website. And long story short, I got scammed. I got ripped off. I got deceived. I got tricked. These guys knew I had a little bit of money because if you know, well, back then I googled my net worth and said I was worth $10 million, which I wasn't. But but Google, there literally was an article, Paul Jameson's net worth $10 million. I'm thinking, where's the like,
I'd like to cash out, please.
yeah, can you like transfer that into my bank account? But for somebody who Googles that and sees I'm worth 10 million, even though at the time I wasn't, they knew I was like they just ripped me off. It was like
Yep.
low hanging fruit for them. For someone who's dishonest, they're like, oh, $10,000, Mr. $10 million man. And so I got ripped off. So I'm telling Jason Creel, we're out golfing, and I'm like, man, like, telling him everything. And he's like, oh, Jason's got like an Alabama accent. I'm not even going to try to do. But he's like, I found this company down in Pensacola, and they built the Alabama Lawn Pros, his fertilizer business. You guys built his website. And he was saying how honest you guys are and how good you are. And Jason's got a pretty sharp discernment. Like, he's sharp fella. He's sharp. Um, so I was like, okay. So I was like, I'm going to go down there myself and investigate if these guys are good or not. So I literally got in my car or truck, drove down there to Pensacola, Florida. And I met Sam and Bailey and I forget everyone else's name, but they walked me around and I'm like interviewing everybody and I was very impressed. And so we started working together shortly after that. And you've helped several of my audience with their marketing and they're happy campers.
It's good to hear. Yeah, I mean that's at the end of the day, our goal is to, especially like you said, only with home service pros. It's our niche and our focus, and it's, we understand that when we're working with folks, it's small businesses. We're not working with, big faceless, nameless, these big name companies. If we're working with somebody, it's because we're helping them and a couple of their employees, 5, 10, 15 other people in a community actually making a difference. We're helping to put food on people's tables. That's the motivator for us. It's we're trying to help people to build up that American dream business.
Yeah, and what really drew me to you guys is you do a month by month pricing model. So where I got scammed out of the 10K and have nothing to show for it, you guys do month by month, and you can share the pricing because there's a regular price and then there's a Paul Jameson listener price. But if you can cancel at any time, just explain the X's and O's and the payment part because that's what I like about it. If for whatever reason somebody has to cancel service, it's very cut and dry.
Yeah, absolutely. We like you said, with your $10,000 website horror story, we've heard others where people are paying out the nose right away. We don't do any of that. We don't have contracts. We don't have build fees. It's really straightforward and simple. For everybody else, it's $249 per month. For Paul Jameson listeners, it's $199 per month instead. But that gets you our core program, everything that we've talked about so far, the website, the review management, your marketing consultant, all that stuff. And it's an ongoing month-to-month service. Just you put your credit card down every month. You're happy with us, we continue to charge you. And if you do want to quit, and we've have people who quit for a variety of reasons because they get so big they want to move in house. They've hired a marketing team. We love when people grow, and that's the reason why they've got to go. It's unfortunate for us, but we love helping folks out. You just cancel services. We don't hold domains hostage or websites hostage. It's not like a website lease program. It's your website. It's your content. It's your stuff. We even want you to hold your own domain name. We don't hold that stuff hostage. Yeah, at the end of the day, we try to be as easy to work with as possible. We've got folks who've been with us, pretty near since the beginning, who are paying those old legacy prices of less than $100 when they signed up in 2004, and we're still charging them that same amount of money. So yeah,
Yeah,
we're firm believers in that honest business model.
yeah, and that's why you guys have such high quality. I think you have 190 Google reviews and a 4.9 rating. I had to get a sheriff involved and go drive over with the sheriff to get my domain. Well, I'm literally like we're there with the sheriff and
It's
like
crazy.
hand over the domain, the username and password. They had it. They held me hostage. And so I had to get law enforcement involved to get my username and password from these crooks. So don't get ripped off like me. Footbridge Media, it's safe. It's you can do your 199 a month. Don't pay 249 a month. Make sure you tell them you're a Paul Jameson listener, and they'll get you the 199 a month plan. And then you guys build no build fee. You just build the website, and then you're off to the races with premium looking website. I can't stand when I have a business. I'm not going to name the name, but there's a company I was doing business with, and they're a good company, but their website was so raggedy and just bad. And I'm like, man, and same with some golf courses. I'm like, how can you be such a nice golf course and your website is so bad? And it just
Right.
irritates me. But that doesn't have to be your story with Footbridge Media. You guys can build a masterpiece and have excellent marketing. So what's that process for somebody who's like, you know what, I'm new in the lawn business. I want to do everything right. I've been hearing you talk about the importance of Google reviews and a optimized website and all this stuff. How do they actually get connected with Footbridge and get started right away? What's that process look like?
Yeah, all you have to do is go to footbridgemedia.com. You scroll down to the bottom, very bottom, you'll actually see a logo for Paul Jameson and for this podcast. Uh, just click there. There's a green start getting leads now button. You click there, and that starts off the whole process. You work with Sam, who Paul met with
Hmm.
when he came down to visit. Sam is our onboarding manager, and she'll work through all the steps of basically getting you 0 to 60 to get your website launched live and ready. We walk you through the whole process. It's a really timely process too. You don't have to wait months and months for your website to get built. Even though we're custom designing, we're custom writing, and we're building your site out for you. It's all done, assuming timely communication, usually about a 4-week window from design approval to site launch, which is really quick for a custom website that's actually being built by a team with 20 years of industry experience. And then from there, that is the first step. Really, the website launch is really just the beginning of the process. Then you get involved in getting more reviews. You get involved with our marketing consultants to figure out other ways to not only improve your website but to maximize your visibility online in general. Whether that's add-on programs like social media or email marketing, what have you. It's really the website launching is that first step to making your business look really good online.
Fantastic. Was there anything we're leaving out here, Chris, that needs addressed?
No, I think that was pretty solid. I think overall with AI, like we were talking about, and with marketing in general, it's all about keeping an ear to the ground, experimenting, and being active. I think that's the big key thing. Is if you're a business owner, you've got to be active in every single part of your business, whether it's learning how to improve your business and yourself with more research and more tools with AI, making sure that you are staying ahead of the curve with any changes that AI might have and how people find your business. At the end of the day, stay active, and that's the thing that's going to make sure your business keeps pushing forward compared to those other folks who have those stagnant websites who aren't doing anything, who are kind of resting on their laurels, sitting on their heels. You're going to pass those folks by if you're active.
So good. Well, if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, Mr. Producer put that link to Footbridge Media in today's show notes. You can click on that and get connected with Sam and the team over there at Footbridge Media. Chris, we appreciate you with the AI explanation for a simple fellow like me and being back on the program.
Thanks so much, Paul. I love being here. Thank you.